Timothy Dymoff is a retired detective. He's been at Jesse's house twice to investigate the crime scene. Timothy, great to see you today. Listen, when you went to Jesse's house, can you describe what the scene looked like, what kind of evidence you were looking for?
Yeah, understand I wasn't able to get into the bedroom. They were securing that off, but I talked to several people connected to the case. I looked in the windows. I got close to the crime scene. Also, looking at the outside of the crime scene was important. But the bottom line from everything that we're putting together, we know that someone came to that house. It was in a friendly visit. That person was invited into that house. That person moved around that house. And in fact, I've even been able to determine on my profile of the crime scene, that person actually went upstairs with the bedroom, to the bedroom, with the victim and was up there. It was a casual, friendly visit, and then something went wrong, and it escalated very fast. I really think that something happened quick. Physical altercation took place. I believe that the victim being 9 months pregnant, probably unbalanced with all that extra weight, fell down, hit her head, whatever, something happened. She probably was seriously hurt or killed. Immediately after that happened, the subject then wrapped her up into comfort, got her body out of there, loaded her body into a car. I've surmised that the body was probably loaded in the garage. The car was pulled in the garage because her car was in the garage. We looked at the garage, and there was plenty of room for another vehicle. So he loads the body in the car. He then comes back in the house. He's looking around, and he's looking at evidence, and he's putting bleach on potential blood stains. He goes downstairs, and he dumps her purse, and the only thing he takes out of that purse is her cell phone. So we have a scene where something happened unexpectedly. We have blood. We have a crime. We have someone cleaning up the mess a little bit. We have someone taking evidence out of there, loading the body up, and getting out of the scene.
All right, Timothy, let me ask you real quick before we move on to the next step here. You refer to the suspect in this case as a he. Is there any chance it could be a she?
Could be a what?
A she, a woman?
Yes, it could be a woman. Now, on the profile of the crime, if it is a woman, basically it would have to be a woman of a pretty good physical stature. The profile of the crime scene would not support a small stature woman or a lightweight woman. It had to be someone with some weight and some strength to take that body, wrap it up, and actually carry it out, even getting it to the car. That's why we tend to think on this profile scene it probably was a male.
Okay, now you got me to the car where you think a body was in the suspect's car.
Right. Once that body was loaded in the car and they had other things out of the house that they wanted, the next thing that the profile indicates is that the person wanted to get out of that area very fast and far. So therefore, based on historical value of other crime scenes and stuff, my determination on this is that the person took the body and they did not dump the body anywhere in that vicinity, and in fact took the body quite far away out of that area where they felt comfortable. Now, once they got out of the area, I believe that body is probably underwater or buried, because following the crime scene, they do not want evidence discovered.
You're basically
so that's why I believe that.
You're determining that based on the fact that whoever this was took the time to pour bleach over a bedroom floor to cover up potential blood stains, so therefore you also think they would take further steps to hide the body, if there's a body.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and also they took the cell phone. They were thinking about the cell phone, and the cell phone records are going to be a key to this case.
Why do you think that?
Well, because I think it was a friendly visit, and whoever was involved in this situation definitely, I feel, had made phone calls to the victim a couple days, couple hours, a week before. But that phone list of the last calls made to her in the last couple weeks, I strongly suspect that person, the suspect, will be one of those callers on that phone.
Real quickly, because the investigators have questioned this 2-year-old's daddy, Bobby Cutts Jr., Jesse's boyfriend. If his daddy was involved, wouldn't you expect the 2-year-old to say something about his dad?
Well, there's a couple things there. Number one, the age of the child and his mental abilities and development is real crucial. If he was about 9 months or another year older, he would have had a totally different thing going on there. He has a lot of things of normal that he thinks about in the past in that house, and you have to be very careful of suggestive. So his age is a factor against it. The other thing is, though, if the police did get any other statements from the child, they are not going to reveal that, but they also cannot depend on that for prosecution unless they support it with some corroboration of other type of evidence.
Your experience is illuminating, Timothy, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to stay on top of the search for 26-year-old Jesse Davis, missing from Canton, Ohio now for 9 days. Back to Ohio now, where the search continues for a pregnant mother. Timothy Dymoff is a retired detective, and he's been at Jesse's house twice to investigate the crime scene. Timothy, great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the person that it seems investigators are focusing on at this point, Bobby Cutts Jr. Why are they looking at him?
Well, once again, you got to look at the profile of the crime scene. They truly believe it was somebody close to the victim, family member, lover, someone that had a close association. Secondly, the person that came in the house was known to the victim. The evidence of the house, the crime scene, indicates that person was invited in, walked around the house, even went upstairs to the bedroom with the victim. That means it's somebody close to her. And obviously, Bobby, the police officer, is the father of her 2-year-old and of the pregnancy that she has. So he has to be a suspect in this case, one way or another.
And are you surprised that they're not calling him, even at this point, a person of interest, much less a suspect?
Well, that's the million-dollar question that's been going on all week here. And the best way to explain that, because of my law enforcement background, you have to understand that the fact that he is a law enforcement officer, law enforcement investigating other law enforcement officers are much more cautious, and they're much more cautious about what they say about officers who are suspects. That's just normal procedure. That's just the way it is. And I truly believe that's the big reason of why they're hesitating to call him any type of suspect.
And from what you know about the case so far, is there any question that he is indeed the father of the unborn child?
We have not heard any contradiction about him being the father. He has not even said that he's not the father. He's acknowledging the fact that he is the father. So that hasn't even come up. So everybody's assuming that he definitely is, and I guess there's a small possibility maybe that he wasn't. And that could be a reason for an argument.
All right. So now Cutts' attorney says that Bobby Cutts Jr. has answered all the FBI's questions, that he gave them the names and the numbers of the people that he was with that night, the night of June 13th. There's surveillance tape of him at a bar. There's eyewitnesses saying, yeah, he was there in his softball uniform. Is that an airtight alibi?
No. Wednesday night is Wednesday night. We really believe that the crime took place early Thursday morning or a little bit later in the morning on Thursday. So let's just say he's with all those people till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't really matter. Where was he from 4 o'clock a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning or later that day? Because we have not established the time of the death, if there is a death. And once they find the body, they will be able to narrow down that time of the death, and then they'll be able to crisscross it with his alibi and everybody else's alibis. But in reality, I think when it comes down to it, you're going to find out that she probably, if she is dead, probably died early morning Thursday and not anything on Wednesday night.
Timothy, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Breaking news right now out of NASA. Turns out NBC's with us. Okay, is there any chance that police can get more information, more leads from the actual crime scene, Pat, given the fact that there was bleach poured all over that bedroom floor?
Well, I'm guessing, Contessa, that there's a lot of information at that crime scene we do not know about. We know it's one of the most difficult things when I'm asked to profile a crime scene I haven't seen. Because when I actually go there and look at it or look at photos detailing everything, I find so many other pieces of information. Well, that's what the police have that we don't know, and that's Pat, probably why they're at Cutts' house.
You bring up an interesting point. Timothy Dymoff has been to that house, former detective who joins me now. Timothy, let's talk about when you went out to Jesse Davis's home, what did you see?
Well, first thing I saw a two-story house. I saw a bedroom upstairs, so automatically now you have to understand that the victim and the suspect were upstairs. You know, they weren't just downstairs. There was no forced entry. There was evidence that person had been there for a while, and it moved upstairs, and it was friendly for a while, and that the evidence points to the fact all of a sudden something was said or done, and all of a sudden an altercation. And I call it an unplanned altercation took place, and then somebody did something to the victim, and she fell down, got struck, hit her head. The mattress was up against the nightstand. The lamp fell over. There was evidence, obviously, that something happened. Someone got injured or killed, and then very quickly someone was bundled up in that comfort, taken out of that room. Someone comes back, pours bleach on the carpet. Why? To hide a crime scene, to hide blood, or do what?
Timothy, it was not a hardwood floor or a hard surface. It was carpeting in that upstairs bedroom.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And if someone was taking the time to pour bleach over carpeting, why wouldn't they have taken the time to put the mattress back where it belonged and the lamp back up on the night table and things like that?
Well, understand now, I want to make sure you clearly understand, I was not in that bedroom, okay? I'm getting my information of the bedroom. They held everybody out from seeing that bedroom, but I have talked to people that give me some very accurate information, very reliable. But in answer to your question, it doesn't matter about putting a lamp back up on a nightstand or straighten the furniture out. What it really matters is get the body out of there and destroy any other evidence that's there, and get any other evidence out of that house, such as a cell phone, the body, the comforter, and get out of that location as fast as they can.
And if there was biological evidence, if there was blood on the carpeting, would pouring bleach on that carpet be enough to destroy the evidence?
Well, it all depends. You know, there's all the CSI stuff, and there's belief that bleach really, can interfere with blood samples. But with the sophistication of the forensics that we have today, even if you do pour bleach on some of it, you're not going to be able to destroy every spatter of blood. And the other thing is, when you visibly see blood, there's blood stains that you can't see with the naked eye. So I am sure there is additional blood there that was not contaminated, if in fact there was an amount of blood on that carpet or anywhere else. You
told me earlier that your belief from profiling this crime scene is that whoever did this, the attacker, would have wrapped up a body, put it in a car, and taken it somewhere. If there's a body, if Jesse has been killed, how far away are searchers going to have to go in order to find the body?
Well, I'm confident on the profile that it's not in that immediate area, and that if you notice that the evidence is taken out of there of the scene, that gives you another indication that they're going to take the body out of the area too. It just falls in line with that thinking. So in answer to your question, it's got to be out of the general area for sure, and most likely, 4 or 5 miles or greater farther away. It's just not going to be down the street or a couple blocks away.
Timothy Dymoff and Pat Brown, I appreciate the help in profiling this crime from both of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
More than 700 volunteers are out looking for Jesse right now, and more needed. What those volunteers are being instructed to look for, and what, if anything, has been found so far, we're going to talk with the person leading the search for Jesse Davis.